I certainly agree with that, but you don't have to take our word for it. Maybe we can invite our guest speaker, Randy Cadell, to maybe introduce himself a little bit, and then I have some questions, just high level, like walk us through what was it like to implement DBT at your organization.
Yeah. So hi, my name is Brandy Cadell. I'm a business intelligence architect with NWN Carousel, which really means I was the guy responsible for getting Snowflake and everything related to it, including DBT, up and running in our environment. And we started as a team of just myself and my boss working on some business analytics for the company, largely actually in Power BI, which grew into Snowflake and grew into me building a lot of tables and views that I was already maintaining in Git because I was using the version control for myself. Um, and I logged into Fivetran one day and I saw a pop up for, we have this package that'll pre-build Salesforce models. I said, I've got Salesforce coming up soon. Let me flag this and take a look at it. And it led me to DBT, DBT Core, which is what I started with before we went to cloud, which is just the local install of DBT. And I still use it today along with cloud. But yeah, that was our really our introduction into it when I saw what DBT could do and the fact that it already integrated to Git, I was really intrigued.
Yeah.
And we
Uh,
we implemented right away.
so that kind of gets into like, so this sounds like how you found out about DBT. Um, did you look at any other like data transformation tools, or was it really just DBT? This looks like a good fit. We're ready to go.
We were doing some light transformation on data coming in through Fivetran through their native transformations that they have before they integrated with DBT because there's that integration now. So we were really looking at only at the time it was only me writing anything. So DBT was really a pet project for me to have to make my life easier.
Got it. Um, and then you reached out at some point, and that's when you and I started talking. Um, and we
Yeah.
had other people get involved. And something that struck out to me was like your transformations were not trivial. You had like serious complexity in what you were trying to build.
Yes, we break every rule that exists as far as you shouldn't have your business logic because sometimes it has to happen, right? We have some systems that are just out of date, and there's some complex things that have to happen in order for us to get the data we need pulled out of it.
Yeah. And so with that environment, with a group of people who it sounded like they had not used DBT before, so you made the decision, you were ready to go. What was it
Yeah, we
like to migrate, like to
we uh,
switch to DBT?
we jumped on to Coalesce 2020. And at the time, the team was looking to expand, so that they was looking to get me some help. And I saw DBT Cloud profiled, and that looked like it was something that was going to fit right along with what we were trying to do and making this more accessible to more people. So we reached out right away and purchased DBT Cloud and started migrating the project to that, which I mean, it was as easy as can be. Already leveraging Git, so we're one step ahead of the game there. We were already using some of the best practices that DBT has. I was consuming a lot of the content that DBT was putting out at the time through blog posts and various tutorials, and really just built out a simple framework of this is what our environment looks like. These are the schemas, and we replicate that in DBT, and we've been able to really push forward,
Yeah.
adding our tests in to really make sure that our data is valid and it can be relied on by the business. That was something we really struggled with.
Did you have like testing in place before DBT?
No, we had a lot of testing. We had a lot of testing that came from the end user who was already pulling reports, and these are when I say end user, these are analysts who are pulling data direct from report copies of databases we may have, and they're doing their own transformations to it. And they were finding issues that might even exist in the source data, but they're not finding it until after it's already impacted everything.
Yeah.
Right? They've already gone through the work. With DBT now, we're testing that as it comes in, and we're finding those issues before the sysadmins even find them. Because some of the tools that we have to ingest data from, we may not be able to find. I've got a really good example for you. We have a system that will let us change a primary key and not care about case sensitivity. So when we add a new item, if that ID is the same as a previous one, but all lowercase, the source system doesn't care.
Yep.
Snowflake, Fivetran, they care, right? And that's something that bit us a bunch, and we can test for that now in DBT.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the tests that we run because it bit us once, and the sysadmin told us, that's so rare that something like that would happen. I bet it never happens again. And no lie, last week that came up with an error.
It happened right again.
Right. Right as we're coming back, basically from holidays, a little after last week, but yeah, everybody's ramping up, and we found that error before it impacted the business.
Oh man, perfect. I make the joke about, even managers can write a little SQL, and I started making that joke after working with you, because I believe the person you report to at one point did actually push a SQL a change early on.
He did. He was very proud. He was somebody who's never done anything really in SQL before and had no idea about Git or any type of version control and what that was going to look like or feel like. And DBT opened the doors to him and many others who really wouldn't have thought they'd be using tools like this.
I recall meeting some of those folks, and there's an apprehension at first because it's a lot all at once, right? It looks like a lot. But after, I don't know, after an amount of time, they start to feel more empowered with it. And then that excitement, man, that's really contagious.
It is. It is. We have a few teammates who every time they have an aha moment, I feel a little more proud. And they're simple things. It's, moving something as simple as going from a select star statement to select DBT util star.
Ooh. I think DBT util star is my favorite macro because it has accept.
Yeah. And it really solved a problem for us right in the beginning with some Snowflake statements where if the underlying table had some columns change, a select star sometimes was failing because of the way DBT is interpreting that. We don't have that problem anymore.
Okay, last question. I know I told you up front there'll only be these three, but thinking about the migration, something I always like to bring up, was there anything particularly hard? I'm really asking, what could have been better about that migration?
There wasn't anything hard about it.
Get out of here.
No, I mean,
I remember early on. So you were earlier. We had dark mode, but it didn't remember when you reloaded the page. So every time
you didn't have dark mode, I think, and then you got it. But that wasn't. I mean, that was painful for my eyes, but that wasn't painful process.
Well, rest assured, thanks in part to Randy telling me, "What's up with dark mode? Fix it, please," and me begging product. We do now have persistent quality dark mode.
Yeah. I mean, if physical pain, sure. My eyes bled a little bit from the light.
Well, hey, Randy, thank you so much for joining and sharing some of your wisdom about how this worked. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.